Welcome along, everybody. Sami here, and this episode we are going into Ballon d'Or conversation. Just a couple of minutes ago, France Football released the list of Ballon d'Or nominees for the women's category and the men's category. So quickly, let's just run by the names that have been released out there. I'll start with the women's division, and when it comes to the women's division, it's quite interesting because we have 30 names, same as the men's division. So 30 names for women's nomination, and there are some interesting names that are out there. There's Leah Williamson, not surprising. And on the African scene, there's Temwa Chawinga, and she's Malawian, and she's made it into the nominations for the women's Ballon d'Or. That's very interesting here. I think that it's good to see some of the African footballers nominated for the women's Ballon d'Or after a brilliant season. Not surprisingly, Mata is there again after her exploits at the women's Copa America. She came on and then had a very telling contribution in that final against Colombia. There are regular names like Alessia Russo, who is in that 30-man list. There's Etana Bonmati also there. There's Chloe Kelly, who was she scored that title-winning penalty for England at the Women's Euros. And so it's interesting that some of these names are coming up in the women's division. Hannah Hampton, I think, is the first time being nominated after her exploits at the Women's Euros. So I'm not really surprised. There's Barbara Banda for Zambia, also in that category from the African continent. And so it's really some very, very interesting list here. I am looking for Alexia Putellas. Yes, Alexia Putellas is here. The Barcelona and Spain midfielder also makes the list. Arsenal midfielder Emily Fox also in this list. Lucy Bronze also makes the list. Surprisingly, in our earlier recording, we talked about Lauren James. And surprisingly, I am not seeing Lauren James's name in this 30-woman list. Very, very surprising. She's one of the top names when it comes to women's football. She plays for Chelsea Football Club. This time around, she doesn't make that cut for the 30-woman list. And to the men's category, Ashraf Hakimi is there. No surprise. Pedri is there. Nuno Mendes is there. You know the interesting thing about this men's list? Paris Saint-Germain have 9 players. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 players making the 30-man list for the Ballon d'Or this time around. And it's almost like an entire team. And so Ashraf Hakimi is in that list for, PSG for the men's category. There's Fabian Ruiz there as well. There's Kivicha Kvaratskhelia is in that list. There's Gianluigi Donnarumma in there as well for Paris Saint-Germain. There's Nuno Mendes. There's João Neves. There's Fabian Ruiz. There's Vitinha, of course, making that 9-man list for PSG in the 30-man list for the Ballon d'Or. But let me run by you the rest of the names. Real Madrid's midfielder Jude Bellingham is in there. Ousmane Dembele is there as well. Desiree Doué, yes, another one for Paris Saint-Germain, also in that list. Borussia Dortmund's Sekou Guirassy is in that list. Victor Gyökeres is also there. There's Erling Haaland. There's Harry Kane. There's Robert Lewandowski. There's Liverpool's Alexis McAllister. He also plays for Argentina. Lautaro Martinez makes the list. Kylian Mbappe, no surprise here. He's in that list. Scott McTominay makes the 30-man list. A lot of people are surprised about Scott McTominay making that list. I am not surprised. I think for a player to have won the best player in the Scudetto last season with telling contributions for Napoli after leaving Man United, I think that he deserves to be in that list. There's Michael Olise, if you want to call him that way, for France and Bayern Munich. There's Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer makes the list. Maybe some people might have their own, skepticism about why Cole Palmer is in the list, but just maybe for his contribution at the Club World Cup, it earned him a place in that list. I think he was brilliant at the Club World Cup for Chelsea, so maybe that's why he's made that list. Pedri is there. There's Rafinha there. There's Declan Rice there. There's Mohamed Salah. There's Virgil van Dijk. Vinicius Jr. makes the 30-man list. He will not make my top 5, but 30-man list, yes, maybe he qualifies to be there after the season that he had. I think it was more of an anticlimax. We didn't get to see him build on what he did last season to be in the running for the Ballon d'Or last season that Rodri won ahead of him. I was thinking that, he will build on that and then give us a solid performance last season, but it didn't happen, and he still makes the 30-man shortlist. I don't think he will make the top 5 in my opinion, but let me know what you think in the comment section. There's also Vitinha, as I mentioned earlier on. There's Florian Wirtz, and not forgetting Barcelona's wonder kid Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal, by the way, also has been nominated for the best young, the best young player in the world. There's a name, that's the Copa Award, yes. So Lamine Yamal is there. He's also in the 30-man shortlist for the Ballon d'Or. So let the debates begin. Let's know who you think will make the top 5, the top 10 of the Ballon d'Or in the women's category, in the men's category as well. Paris Saint-Germain, again, have 9 players in that 30-man shortlist. They've been dominant this season. And just maybe you might say that Chelsea did a solid job in that final if they could stop this PSG team. So here on Sports 101, this is the update of the Ballon d'Or nomination for the women and men's category. The subsequent bulletins will be giving you more updates as the stories unfold. I'm Sami. It's Sports 101. Like, subscribe, share, and let's continue the conversation in the comment section.